For one last time, good morning, Jamestown Upper Elementary. Here we are. You can see the office is pretty much cleaned out here on my last day. For about the last 10 years, this is how I've started every single one of my days as a principal of the last two schools that I've worked with. So I figured this is one last morning announcement that I'd share a little bit today. I am gonna look down in my notes a little bit, and it just didn't feel really personal to send our student, staff, and parents an email. Although I'll be moving to our position as state and federal program coordinator, it just really won't be the same, and it certainly today marks the end of a significant portion of my educational career. That's just gonna be a different kind of role and a different kind of atmosphere. While I'm really excited for it, it's certainly not gonna be what this job has entailed. As a student, and then as a teacher and as a principal, I've basically spent the last 41 years on a bell schedule in buildings with hundreds of educators and hundreds of kids. I tagged along with my dad to school when I was a kid. School and this life is literally all I've ever known. The public school system has put food on my table and been part of my family's life ever since I can remember. But when I think of today, I don't think of the job, I think of people, because that's what education is. Education is a people business, and it's about impacting people. So many people that it would take me an hour to talk about, but I did want to take this opportunity to mention a few. My mom was a social worker in various locations. She fought for the underdog, and she always cared most about who was less fortunate. She probably could have retired earlier than she even did, but she had such a passion for students that she stayed on a few extra years. My dad was a teacher, a coach, and then a superintendent. He was the definition of a servant leader and someone that I learned so much from. His career came to an end before he wished he would have. He wished that it would have, but they're both amazing educators and really set the foundation for my educational career. I have so many mentors at Tri-County and Cedar Springs and amazing educators like Al Cummings and Jen Kaler, Aaron Carey, Joan Boberhoff, Erica Johnson, Noah Gregory, Cheryl Takama, Hillary Muhlenberg, so many others. People who really were impactful on my career as role models and mentors like Ann Custis and Ron McDermott and Steve Seward and Dave Carey did so much to help me along the way. I think about the team of Nick Sigleric, Scott Smith, and Carla Aikens that brought me here to Jamestown, and Marie DeGroat for working with me, taking me under wing, showing me all about Hudsonville, showing me all about Jamestown. She was so helpful. She's so skilled as an educator and such a great person that I'm forever indebted to her for kicking off my Hudsonville career. I think of our elementary principals team and our administrative team at Hudsonville that I learned so much from, I laugh with, and I just greatly appreciated in all the ways that they've helped me grow. I appreciate the partnership and friendship from our Jamestown Lower staff. I mean, we really worked hand in hand for my first few years here. I've really enjoyed and learned a lot from working with Jamestown Lower Principal Mackenzie Stefanich. This job can be a little bit lonely, and she's always been there for thoughts, answer questions, and sometimes help me regain some sanity. That co-principalship is something that I've greatly valued here the last few years. I'm really thankful to Doug and Amy and Ann and Mandy and Pat, our central office team here in Hudsonville, for their support the last few years while education is tougher than I've ever seen it. They are dodging bullets and doing things with a high level of professionalism and with a heart for students every single day, and it's really been inspiring to see them do that despite the challenging times, and I'm grateful for them entrusting me into this new role. But I really, today, I think about these 6 years at Jamestown. Um, I'm not editing that out, that just is me. I'm a guy that likes a good cry, and I guess that's a little bit of today. It's the most effective and passionate teaching staff that I've ever been around. People that I'm happy to call colleagues, but I'm even more proud to call my friends. They trusted me and my vision when we started Jamestown Upper as a brand new thing 6 years ago, and they battled alongside me for the last 2 years. And as challenging as they've been, I think battled is probably the right term. I had their back always. I hope they know that. What they likely underestimate is their impact on me and how badly I needed them at the professional, personal place that I was in when I came here. I spent some time in the last couple of weeks writing each of them a card about what I'll miss about working with each one of them individually. And I'm excited to pass those out. I could rattle 10 things off from each and every one of them. The JU squad is an awesome one. I think about Mrs. Mack, the most skilled and supportive administrative assistant that I've ever been around. All she's done for me and our school is beyond words. I smile when I think about Mr. Joel Venema, our head custodian, and the personal investment he has in our school and how it looks and how it functions. I can't help but think of students, individuals who've impacted me and the thousands I've worked hard to impact. Dominic Oliver, my guy from Cedar Springs, is always the first student that comes to mind. But from there, man, my first group of kindergartners and young fives at Tri-County, the stops at Cedar Trails, Beach, and Cedar View. I got into elementary education because of my brother Scott, who's 8 years younger than I am. And so growing up, I was always around him. I was around his friends, trying to get them to learn things, trying to mentor them, trying to organize things, trying to just be the best support person that I could be for all of them from different types of backgrounds. And that's why I became an educator, to work with young kids. And my brother's impact on my life in that way, but also being a person who supported me through everything, and really helped guide me through my professional career. Super thankful to him. There's so many names and faces of individual students that run through my mind, even just sitting right here, from the classroom to years as a principal. But being grounded in getting in this profession to work with young kids is something that's never changed. This group of Jamestown kids, who I'm saying goodbye to today, is a special one. They've come from great families, who have been so supportive of me and of our staff, especially during the most challenging times. I think every single one of the 330 kids in this school knows that I care about them, and I hope they feel the same about me. I'll miss the excitement and smiles when the bell rings, like just that opening rush of school, when students are pouring into the building. There's good mornings, there's high fives, there's smiles, there's hugs. All of those interactions with students I'll certainly miss. I'll miss the laughs and smiles, the talks in the hallway with kids, recess and lunchtime. But maybe most I'll miss those times in my office when I'm one-on-one with a student or with a small group of kids that I really feel like I'm making an impact. I'll miss those moments where I can literally see them becoming better human beings right in front of my eyes. I know JU is in great hands with Mr. Verwise, our next principal, and that really does give me a lot of peace. But at the end of the day, I think about my family. I think about Angie and Allie and Miles. They've put up with 80-hour work weeks and 2 jobs for the course of the last 4 years. I'm excited for school to still play a big role in our lives, in Hudsonville Public Schools and education, but maybe that slice of the pie just gets a little bit smaller so we can have a little more balance in life. And I can spend some time trying to be a better Christian, trying to be a better father, trying to be a better husband, trying to be a better brother, trying to be a better son, trying to be a better friend, trying to be a better business owner, all of those things. That's going to help provide a life for the three people that I care most about in this world. That percentage of the pie that education takes up when you're in this job is something that just gets really, really big, and our family really needs that balance for us to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. I guess in my final reflection, I do have regrets. I've made small mistakes, I've made big mistakes, and I'd like to have some of them back, because in education, when you make mistakes, they impact people, and that's hard to see. I wish I would have done more, wish I would have done it better, I wish I would have deepened my impact on staff, students, and the community. Based on all that, I'm probably not supposed to be sitting here, based on our family and our journey, making this move on my own terms, as some of the challenges around the way seemed insurmountable at times. But I've learned a lot about mental toughness and resilience, which has made me, at the end of the day, a better person. I do know that I'm awfully proud of the things that I've done, and I guess more so the reasons that I've done them in this role as a teacher and as a principal. You don't get an education to get rich, you do it to have an impact. And I've greatly enjoyed working with people to try to do that. I'm excited for this new position and how I can work differently, but within the same system, to positively impact students. Thank you to Tri-County, thank you to Cedar Springs, thank you to Hudsonville, thank you to Jamestown. It's been an amazing journey.